Hey, you've got some questions about Beat Your Neighbor Fertilizer.
Because happy Fertilizer Friday.
Yeah, so happy Fertilizer Friday, and we're answering those questions that you have asked us. So, Amy's got the list, a few of them. There's a lot of questions.
There is.
This has actually been kind of fun doing this. So anyway, on our Beat Your Neighbor Fertilizer specifically, that's what we're talking about. It's Fertilizer Friday, and we're gonna get right into it.
Yes, and if you have questions, please ask them because that gives us for next week of what we're going to ask and answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
okay.
First one is from Bev. How often would you recommend fertilizing vegetables in a garden?
Good question. Okay, so we still say about once a week with your vegetables. Now, something that I do personally with our vegetables is I'll back off as they start fruiting, meaning you start seeing those tomatoes, you start seeing those cucumbers. I'll start backing off because I got that plant to the point where it's nice and big and it's producing, and then I start tearing back a little bit. I go about every 2 weeks. You know, once you see those vegetables forming and producing. Now we have a lot of people that they just continue with the Beat Your Neighbor Fertilizer once a week in their garden, and they have fantastic results, and there's nothing wrong with that. But just personally, I back off a little bit just to make sure that energy goes back into fruiting rather than building a,
because we have some
huge,
really big tomato plants.
Yeah, I have 12-foot tomato plants.
But they have huge fruits on them.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
My goodness, yes. So.
And if you're using it, don't put it on the tomato plant. Put it in the soil portion of it, so that if you're out in the garden just eating.
Yeah, make sure you're getting the fertilizer water down towards the soil. That's just a good habit, especially in the garden anyway. That way you're not getting blight splashing up from the ground. But anyway, that's just good habit. Okay.
Janelle said, besides the 20-21-19, are there any other ingredients and or minerals in your mix? So let's say what the 20-21-19 is. What is that number?
That's the NPK or the macronutrients. That's basically what is it?
I was gonna say you're getting kind of technical.
Yeah, we're not gonna get technical. We have all that technical information on our beatyourneighbor.com website. We have the label on there. We also did a video on what is NPK. She's asking what else, and so a lot of times they will call out micronutrients, and so one of the micronutrients, so one of those lesser items, is iron. Iron is fantastic for especially petunias. So our Beat Your Neighbor Fertilizer is a iron rich, and you can see that. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Like if your plants are kind of pale, they're that light green, and you start feeding them the Beat Your Neighbor Fertilizer, you will absolutely see that green growth start, and you can see it like coming through the plant. It'll start, and you'll see it coming right down the stems in the next few days. It's dark, a much darker green.
Petunias tend to be the ones to tattle the fastest. That and calibrachoas.
Yeah, calibrachoas can go through that phase, but petunias also. And I don't know that there's a scientific, technical, but I would just call it when you're lacking nutrients, kind of like a person lacking iron. What do they call it with the
anemic?
Anemic, yeah, exactly. So I call these plants anemic, and I'm not a scientist, all right? I don't know that that's correct, but that's what it is when I'll know that, especially with calibrachoas, they'll go through that anemic stage sometimes. I start feeding them about every other day with the Beat Your Neighbor Fertilizer to boost that iron. They're needing it for whatever reason, and sometimes they can just switch on and off, and so I'll boost them, and then you'll literally see it coming through. It'll go from that yellowish to green.
They kind of look like veins coming through.
Yeah,
it just starts.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's kind of neat.
It is
neat to see.
Nadine said, "Can I use the fertilizer full strength every other day on my flowers?"
Okay,
which we're just talking about.
I was just talking about that. Yeah, there's certainly times that if you have a party coming up, or maybe your flowers got beat up from a storm or heavy rain or something, and you want to get some quick growth. Now, if they're waterlogged, if they're soaked, you need to let them dry down until it's appropriate. But once you can, Yes, you can fertilize multiple times a week, and there's times that I will fertilize every other day if I have to really get that growth going and reblooming quickly. So yeah, you can fertilize full strength every other day if you want fast growth. For a short period, about a week, maybe 2 weeks. I do.
A lot of people are nervous about over fertilizing.
Yeah, yeah.
And really, the formula that we have, we've lessened it to make sure that doesn't.
Yeah, here's what you don't do. Okay, so ours is very concentrated. So don't be like, well, the directions say 1 scoop per gallon. I'm gonna put in 3. Do not do that. Okay, so that we're not talking about that of making it stronger, because it is already strong, in its by itself. So don't make it stronger. We're talking about more often. Yeah, frequency of more often. And yes, you can do it more often, but don't be like 1 scoop's good, 2's better. Don't do that, because then you can over fertilize and run into trouble.
The strength of it going into that root system is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have Melody said, is it normal to have just green growth in the first few applications, no flowers yet?
Normal, yes. Like we talked about, you're gonna see that green coming through, and that's like the first thing that you're gonna see. But is it normal not to have flowers? Not really, but remember, it takes some time for the plant to regrow or to produce that blooms. Stem, produce the buds, then produce the blooms. So there's a process that you can help it along, but we can't just magically, man, the whole thing had flowers and it looked like this overnight. Well, it doesn't work that way. You still have
even
to have,
within like a week. You should start seeing some changes in your plant.
Yeah.
You should start see it greening up.
There should be that visual.
That growth.
Yes.
The buds might be setting, just little buds are setting.
Mm-hmm.
But really you're going to see that after a few applications.
Yeah, it has to take some time for the plant to grow, and there might be growth happening underneath that you're not seeing. It's regrowing roots because it was overwatered, and those roots were rotting, and so there might be work going on underneath where you can't really see it. But as long as you see that progression and things are happening, and it's looking good, that's what you're looking for.
And I think that brings us into kind of a final wrap up of it. It's not going to change it overnight, and you said that.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people are like, well, I fertilized once.
Yeah.
And
that's like going to the gym once.
That's great.
Yeah.
And we love that.
Habits.
But it's the habits, and you're not going to see overnight success.
Yes.
You're gonna have to have good care. You're gonna, you're not going to take a plant that you haven't watered for a week or that is completely dead and resurrect it and within 1 week and be like, woohoo, look at this. If you're taking something that's already a damaged plant, there's some growth that has to happen. And like you said, a lot of it is underneath where you're going to see it. It's in that root system.
Yeah, as long as you're seeing that progression, then things are happening. And it just takes some time. And depending on the circumstances, if it was if it got hail, if it's been 2 weeks of just nonstop rain and getting beat up, those things are going to take time to come back from. So unfortunately we just have to kind of wait it out.
Well, even like I noticed on our building, and any of you who have been past the building lately, there's a bald spot on one side of all of our baskets.
Yeah.
And people ask, they're like, why isn't there flowers there? And the answer is the wind. The wind was so strong, it was pushing the baskets like this, and it just shredded all of those flowers. And now the rest of the basket looks great, but that one area needs to basically regrow.
Yeah. We had some horrible winds and hard rain. So they got beat up in a storm.
And so we're expecting like it's not going to just all of a sudden fill in within 2 days.
Yeah.
Even though you're pushing them and you're encouraging them and you're watering them right, it's just going to take some time.
Yeah. So be patient. But certainly the fertilizing more often if you want to push that growth. That's going to help. That's going to help get those things moving along.
Right.
But good habits that we were talking about, good habits, that is very important. So
a lot of people ask, where can I get the fertilizer? Like, we get asked that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, retailer of the day is Nature's Best, down in Green Bay.
Yeah, Josh.
Yes.
Josh and crew down in Green Bay. Yeah, Nature's Best Floral.
They have a very cute shop. Go in, see them. They have not just flowers, but they have all that. They have clothing and
nice
home
new
decor.
location.
It's beautiful. They do an excellent job.
Yeah.
So they carry our Beat Your Neighbor Fertilizer down in the Green Bay area, along with some other retailers down there. You can find all of them on the retailer map.
Yes.
And it's not limited to just Green Bay or Wisconsin. We are across the United States right now.
Right.
With hundreds,
130 plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Retailers.
And you've had a bunch just in the last 2 days were. Yeah, there are some paperwork. There's some things that we need to have to get a retailer set up, but we have some brand new ones.
You can find all of them on the beatyourneighbor.com. And if you are a retailer and you want to carry us, whether that is now or for next spring, because greenhouse is wrapping up, you can contact us at the info@beatyourneighbor.com, and we will get you that information.
Yeah, so good questions.
Those are great questions.
Yes.
And if you have a lot of questions, please ask them. Like, sometimes we'll pull them, normally Fridays we'll pull them and see what they were for the week.
Yeah.
And you can also find a lot of those answers on the FAQ.
Yeah, the frequently asked questions area on our beatyourneighbor.com website. So yeah, because there's a lot of redundant questions, and and we literally get hundreds, if not thousands, of comments and questions daily.
We do.
Across all of our platforms, and unfortunately, we can't answer every question. But everything you need to know is at beatyourneighbor.com.
Right.
So yeah, those answers are there, and they're easily accessible for you.
If you can't find a retailer in your area, we can ship it to you in 48 states. Here's something that I want to remind people: if we're shipping it to you, we try to get it out the same day, if not the next day.
Yes.
But once it goes into the postal system, the post office or UPS,
yes, it's not in our hands.
It takes a while.
We've handed it off to UPS or the post office.
Yes.
All right. Scott and Amy are not driving this to your doorstep in Iowa or Oregon or whatever.
I'd love to.
Amazingly. So once it's out of our hands, be patient. You'll get a tracking number. If you don't see that tracking number,
check your spam.
Check your spam folder. There's a lot of people are like, where is it? There's an automatic email that is sent out, but unfortunately, a lot of people's emails are set so high with security that
it goes
goes right into a spam folder. So your order number is probably in that spam folder. If you haven't seen it, it is an automatic email. It sends that out. So,
and there has been a few customers that the post office just like gets it stuck in one area, normally Oak Creek, and and it just sits there for a few days, and they never rescan it until it's almost on their door, and they're like, I haven't gotten my stuff. And if you order on a weekend, and now today is a holiday, so they are not running, it's going to take a little while.
Yeah, but normally it's within
and that's why we say, please use the retailers. You can walk right in their door, you can pick up a jar, and you can take it home and use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So
on that, have a great day.
Bye-bye.